So now that I've gotten my token sword video out of the way, I figure it's finally time for me to actually talk about a good deck in this meta, which is going to be Artifact Portal. The top meta for this deck appears to be Last Words and Artifact Portal. Personally, I prefer Artifact because it's cheaper and also it's something we haven't seen in this meta. I mean, in this like whole throwback thing. Yet, unlike this specific Last Words deck, which we've basically seen like similar things already. So yeah, today we'll be showcasing some Artifact Portal. So let's look at the deck list we're playing for today. So this is the list we're running for today. I just took the tournament winning list and I just made some slight edits to make it more, I guess, to my personal taste. Mainly just putting in Kitty Cat Arsenal here. This card is pretty strong, so I just wanted to put it in. That's about it. The main goal of this deck is, of course, using Paradigm Shift to play artifacts, and then the main win condition, I guess, is using Astral artifacts, which are, if we can look over here, this Astral artifact here, a 2/2 Storm that has last word to do damage to the enemy leader. Use this with along with Mobilized Factory to refund PP, and then you can use it to combo with cards like Ralmia's Evolve effect against Storm, or Miriam's effect where every time an allied follower artifact is destroyed, you deal 2 damage to the enemy leader. Or you can even use Bahamut's Accelerate effect to increase the damage dealt by allied follower spells and effects to close out the game. The main OTK combo, I guess, if you high roll, is to summon 4 Airstrike artifacts, use them to hit face, and then use Bahamut's Accelerate to destroy all of them, which is a 20 damage OTK. It doesn't cost evil points. Of course, it's a little bit difficult to pull off. It's not too hard actually, but yeah. And then, yeah, that's basically what the deck list is. So let's look at some games now. The first game here is going to be against Dragon, and we are going second. Dragon is pretty annoying to deal with, I personally find, because if they high roll, you can't win. And as you know, when playing card games, your opponent always high rolls while you always draw the worst hand. So you can expect our opponent to high roll here. Against Dragon, it's actually particularly important to keep track of how many cards they mulligan, because you want to know how good their hand is. So for mulligan, outside we keep Robotic Engineer, and then we keep the 2 cost that generates the Paradigm Shift, whose name I can't quite remember. And then once you have those, you can keep other cards like the Synchronization or Spinaria, or yeah, stuff like that. And then if you're going second, you can keep Kitty Cat Arsenal as well, because that card is kind of disgusting going second. My opponent's just gonna ramp, which is fine, is expected for a Dragon, I guess. Actually, we don't have much we can do here, so we'll just go ahead and drop the Spinaria on board here. If my opponent pops it, we can use this Artifact Scans to pick up more copies, which is currently the goal, I guess. Pick another Robotic Engineer here, we can go ahead and use that to pick up another Paradigm Shift. Unfortunately, we can't quite clear this Roy, so we have to suffer. So actually we have... No, we can clear the Roy, because if we pop this Spinaria, it guarantees Ramia, so we can use it to clear the Roy, so that's pretty good. And then normally you queue Artifact Scan for the discount effect, but since my hand is so low on artifacts, I just have to pop it here just to pick up more artifacts so I can start discounting these Paradigm Shifts. Thankfully, a bit of a slow turn for my opponent. Frankly, if my opponent like high roll all their good cards, there is no way to win, because Jerva is super annoying against that for us. But here our opponent isn't good, didn't high roll too bad. We did have this pretty big Razia, which is annoying, but we did save the Quicksilver Aegis so we can answer it, so we are fine in that spot. And we do have Mobilized Factory as well, as down as well, so we can sort of pop off from here. We go ahead and play Ramia here just to draw into our deck to know what we have to work with. We're gonna play them this turn anyway, so it's best to just get those out on board now so that we can draw into our deck and make our decisions based on those. Go ahead and trade the Razia to make board space here to drop the mechanized Mecha Arm Mechanic. We'll draw into our deck and pick up more Paradigm Shifts as well, pick up another Paradigm Shift, and now we can use Quicksilver to go ahead and get rid of that Ramia. And then we can trade as well to get rid of the Georgios as well. And just put out a Keenage artifact for some healing. Healing is important against this matchup because they output really extreme amounts of damage, so in order to not immediately die, healing is kind of important. Let me go ahead and pass here. My opponent will go ahead and drop their Bullet Bike as well as a Tiamat Omega here, which is fine. That's not Gyandagoza, so we're honestly fine with anything that isn't Gyandagoza, since Gyandagoza is probably the most annoying thing they have. I'm gonna use the Quicksilver Aegis here. This is a... Yeah, we just go ahead and play the Paradigm Shift here. Drop the Miriam as well. Miriam with Paradigm Shift is lethal with 5 airstrikes, so I guess you can just keep the count that way. For the Android Artisan as well, which is quite nice. Go ahead and evolve the Airstrike Artifact, the hit phase here. Go ahead and use Miriam. Oh, I guess we could not use Miriam. Play the analyzing hit. Funnily enough, if I didn't like evolve the Airstrike, I could have evolved the Ramya turn. Honestly, with this deck, my lethal turns are just guess and check. I don't actually know when it's gonna be lethal. But yeah, this is just gonna be lethal, so that's it for this game, I guess. Our next game here is going to be against Portal, and we are going first. The mirror isn't really based on who goes first as much as it is who draws the better hand. This is a pretty good opening hand though, so they're looking good for us. Honestly, I'm terrible at the mirror. Like, I just lose most of the time. Probably quite bad at this deck, but you know, it's whatever. My opponent has the Robotic Engineer here, which is I guess mildly better than what I have. We drop the Artisan. We hit face here. No reason to trade here, we just might as well hit face. They have to trade this at some point to get their Paradigm Shift anyway, which is now, I guess. Honestly, we'd rather draw a random card than draw Ramya at this point, so letting them trade into my Spinara artifact there was probably better. We go ahead and just trade off here. I guess to reduce trade targets for them, or their Paradigm Shift. They draw the Analyzing here and they use Miriam as well to pop it, which is a bit annoying. If you're playing at if you want to play at a high level, it's probably best that you keep track of what artifacts your opponent, or keep track of how many Paradigm Shifts your opponent has. But since I'm lazy, I didn't really bother. I just had like a vague idea, I guess. So this is Gizmo Enthusiast here, which is fine, I guess. It's better than Kitty Cat Arsenal. And my opponent has another Android Artisan, which is quite bad for us because they have a lot of Paradigm Shifts in hand right now. I think it's like 4 or something. Which is enough for OTK if they manage to get there, I guess. This time we want to put down Mobilizing Factory to start drawing into our deck because our hand looks quite bad. And my opponent has the Factory as well, which is quite bad for us because currently they are closer to the OTK than we are. So I use the Carrier to draw into our deck. We can discard the extra Mobilized Factory, it's not really useful for anything. And we pick up Miriam, which means that we can get another Paradigm Shift, which is very nice. We go ahead and get rid of our Gizmo Enthusiast here. We want to reduce the amount of trade targets they have on board here, so we trade inefficiently here with the Spinara's artifact as well. We got Ramya in case we end up using her for lethal at some point. And then just discount the Paradigm Shifts in our hand and then we can trade. This is in case they just leave their board empty and pass. Which they do, so they play 2 Quicksilvers. I don't believe they have lethal right now. To be safe, I do put up wards here, just to protect my face so the airstrikes can't go face. It does give them trade targets, so like depending on what is in their hand, giving them trade targets might actually be what allows them to OTK me from here, but assuming they have OTK, we know 5 cards in their hand are Paradigm Shifts, and if they want to have OTK from this point, one of them has to be Bahamut. So they will be literally relying on whatever their top deck is to get OTK off, which is quite unlikely, so this is probably just safer. My opponent has to move. In case you are wondering, if my opponent passes here, I do still have lethal. So that's fine, we can just Ramya into Paradigm Shift, get an Airstrike, evolve the Ramya, and that is 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 8, which is I mean, we can use Bahamut as well, so there's that. So yeah, we do basically have lethal from this point, even if my opponent did pass. Sorry, not Ramya, I also have to use Bahamut there to empty my board. Summon out airstrikes, then play Baha, and then summon more airstrikes. That would have been lethal, so... But my opponent can't have passed there, so there's that, I guess. They probably should be healing here instead of dealing damage to me, though, but I do have OTK in my hand, so it doesn't really matter. There's their airstrike. Another Paradigm Shift airstrike here. And they go ahead and play their scan as well. and then Ancient Artifacts. They're probably looking to finish me off next turn, but lucky for me, I do have lethal this turn, so we're gonna go with that. I'm just playing for PP efficiency here. Honestly, this is a waste of time, but you know, it's whatever. Go ahead and play the Airstrike here, and then play another Airstrike. I mean, you can probably know this old decades for actually Bahamut here from lethal is already lethal, but I guess I just overplayed a bit, which is a bit unfortunate on my part there. But yeah, that's it for this game. Let's move on to the next one. And our last game here will be against Shadows. We have completed the trifecta of like meta decks in this format, I guess. So that's nice. Once again, Mulligan, we just look for good paradigm shift generators, which none of these are. Unfortunately, we didn't pick up any yet, but hopefully we'll find them eventually. Well, then just passes some turn, which is good for us. Go ahead and drop the Spinara here. Unfortunately, still no paradigm shifts, so a bit concerning that this Spinara might go to waste. Got another Quicksilver, but no paradigm shifts, so still not great, but hopefully we can pick up something eventually, and we'll just go and hit face, of course. Opponent will drop the Bubbly Reaper as well as Wicked Rebirth to, I guess, clear this Ramia and get their last word count advance. For us, we are pretty happy that they're wasting Wicked Rebirth at this point, I guess. And we still have to do, so we'll just pass again, which is not ideal for us, generally speaking. And they go ahead and drop their Gramarye and their Bubbly Reaper, that's fine. Finally pick out Carrier here. We could have played Kitty Cat Arsenal, but I think Reaper is probably just better. I mean, getting the Paradigm Shift in our hand is probably just better, right? Go ahead and use the Quicksilver to get rid of the ward so that we can hit face here. Get as much damage as we can as possible. Well, then we'll use that Psycho Palm here to draw as well as destroy my followers. Thankfully, the Mystic lives, so I guess we have that going for us here. It does unfortunately give them a trade target for this Hell's Unleasher though, so they will get the Lich out of this here, which is mildly annoying. We take some damage as well, of course. We're saving Kitty Cat Arsenal for later on when we have less trade target. I mean, we have more paradigm shifts in hand, so for now we prioritize generating paradigm shifts using what's this Mecha Arm Mechanic. And we can leave this low attack followers on board. It's completely fine. They don't even have last words. Opponent will go ahead and draw into their deck and use Bow Maven to heal off the tiny bit of chip I guess I've dealt them. And they buried Chris, which honestly makes me think they probably have a second copy in hand, which is very concerning because if they play Chris, our chance of winning go down severely. But since this is a pretty weak board from them, we can take this opportunity to drop the Mobilized Factory. And they will get their Gramarye here, but the Gramarye can't really do anything because their board is pretty full. I guess they can play like Macro Impulse, which will be annoying, but I will see if they do that. They do evolve the Ceres as well. We take a bunch of damage, which is annoying. And here I want to introduce a special technique that I've developed, or rather I've learned from playing this game. The first step is to count how much damage you have on opponent's board. This is 4, 6, 8. They have 8 damage, so even with Necro Impulse they don't have lethal, so we are safe there. So here we can go ahead and just play Ramia and trade the discount of Paradigm Shift. Oh, we pick out a Robotic Engineer here as well, which is pretty nice. Go ahead and use Miriam to pop that to pick up 2 more Paradigm Shifts. Then we can trade the Ramia here. And at this point, we just pass here, and you might be thinking, what? This is just a regular board, like, what's the special technique? And the special technique is, I can't see a way to win this game, like from here. All I know is that I can't let them play Kristoff for 10 last words, so I have to board lock them here. So the solution is very simple. It is to pray that the me of next turn will find lethal from this spot. Actually, funny enough, spoiler, I do have lethal in this hand from this board, but I definitely didn't spot it, so I guess we can watch it from here. So this is Ramia here. Go ahead and use Ramia. In this Kitty Cat Arsenal, we target the lowest health followers to maximize the value, or rather maximize the number of trade targets we have, because we really need them for things like Paradigm Shift. So from this spot, actually, I ended up playing Miriam here, but from this spot it's actually guaranteed lethal. You can see my Paradigm Shifts in hand cost 1466. So what I can do is trade the 2 Ancients into these 2 followers. And then play Kitty Cat Arsenal targeting Sarah's Bride. If you don't know, Kitty Cat Arsenal deals 3 damage to one follower and then 2 to another follower. So if there's only one target, you don't hit the 2 damage on the same follower. So we can leave that Sarah's healthy enough that we can trade Ramya in, trade the ancient artifact that Kitty Cat Arsenal will summon. And then Sarah's Last Words clears the last ancient artifact that's summoned by Kitty Cat Arsenal. So for with Kitty Cat Arsenal, we'll be at 5 play points from this spot, and we have destroyed 5 artifacts, so our paradigm shifts will cost 0, 0, 1, 1. So we can from that point paradigm shift, paradigm shift, paradigm shift, paradigm shift, all of them summoning airstrikes, hit face, and then accelerate Bahamut, and it's guaranteed lethal. Obviously I didn't spot it at this point, so I just like played whatever I thought I could. Go ahead and trade the ancient artifacts here into the... I mean, this still makes the most sense, I think, trading the ancient artifacts. Paradigm shift here, summon an airstrike. We trade that. And then once again we use Kitty Cat Arsenal to get some damage here. I get a bit lucky with where Sarah's Last Words hits because it does end up hitting an artifact follower, so we get the extra ping out of Miriam here. We use Paradigm Shift. Then use Miriam to pop the artifact here. And we can go ahead and play Paradigm Shift some more. And then with an evil point, this is lethal. Actually, I almost ran out of time, and my opponent thankfully conceded before I ran out of time, so that was nice of them. Yeah, that's it for this game, I guess. A bit of luck involved, but I had guaranteed lethal for what it's worth. So that's all the games I have for you today. Honestly, I'm probably not the best example to learn this deck from because this deck is quite hard to play and I'm terrible at this deck, so... yeah, but hopefully at least give you some idea of how this deck functions, so if you're interested in picking out for yourself, then you can make improvements to the game plan on your own and just learn how to play it, I guess. I mean, you have like, what, the whole month to learn it, I guess, if you want. But yeah, definitely still strong enough to climb even if you're not super good at this deck like me. So it's good enough, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's cheaper than Last Words, especially if you've already crafted Spinara at some point, which you might have done because Spinara has been used in some other places. But yeah, that's it for today's videos. See you next time. Bye-bye.